Vance Row.
TJ.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, my man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. I usually get into a bio, but first, we met 4 years.
Yeah.
We talked about that the other day.
It's been a little while, maybe 3.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was
the first year?
It was the first time they did the Rally for First Responders, because I think we originally met. I think we met through Kyle.
Yeah. And then we did the conference together.
Yep.
Which you got me into that one.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
It's been good.
Little background on you for everyone. 22 years police officer.
That's right.
3 years as a 911 dispatcher.
That's right.
Medically retired, right? From police?
Retired.
Right. That's right. You guys
we didn't have a medical retirement. So
right.
the reason I switched jobs was because of the injury.
Right.
But yeah, I did my 25 and retired.
Okay. Then alcohol was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health.
Sure.
Found yoga.
Yep.
On a random whim. So I guess
finger of God is what I say. Like something bigger than me was directing me in there.
And now you're into mental health discussions, public speaking, yoga instructing, number of things.
Yep. Suicide prevention.
Yep. A whole gamut of
all the things, right?
All the things.
All the things.
So I knew you grew up in Pennsylvania, but where?
Well, I went to college up in Pennsylvania, but actually born and raised in Baltimore.
Oh,
and
Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah, and then I spent the first 18 years of my life there.
Yeah.
But funny enough, I didn't really go back there after I went to college.
Yeah.
Because when I went to college, I was not just going to school, but I was playing football.
Right.
And then I would come down to Ocean City and I would work in the summertime. So my first summer in Ocean City I was 19 years old. It was 1996. And I just kind of never went back to Baltimore after that. I just decided to stay down here.
But you went to college in Pennsylvania.
Correct. Yeah, so Westchester is just outside of Philadelphia.
Yep.
And I didn't even know that school existed.
Yeah.
Until my high school coach at the time had spent a year there when he was going as he was going from 18 to 19. He spent a year at Westchester.
Yeah.
And then he went to Temple and he played football at Temple. So he knew about Westchester. He sends a tape to them.
Yeah.
Because I had kind of fallen through the cracks. I was always told that I was somewhere between a 1AA and a Division II player.
Did you have looks from anywhere else?
I had looks. Yeah. But my grades were awful.
Yeah.
My SAT scores were terrible.
Sounds like me.
I'll tell you right now, and I'm very upfront about this. Yeah. I didn't try in middle school or high school. I wouldn't do homework. I would do terrible in tests.
I was the same way.
I didn't want to read any of the books that I'm required to read.
Yeah.
And then when I went to college, all of a sudden the light bulb went on, and I don't know if it's just finally oh, I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
So now I care. And it just got easier that way. So I graduated,
you did all 4 years in college.
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, I went a little extra. I went 4.5.
Okay.
And I'd like to say that was so I could play out my eligibility.
Yeah, you opted for that.
Right. I mean, I knew I was going to do that right from the get-go because in every fall I would take the bare minimum classes that I could to be a full-time student.
Oh, so you had every year of eligibility for football that you could.
Right. I played. So I redshirted right away as a freshman, and I just practiced with the team.
Okay.
And then I was in the starting rotation as a redshirt freshman, and I was a starter as a sophomore.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, you're a big fucking dude. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not right. I didn't miss meals as a kid.
This guy needs to put some weight on before you put him on the line.
Right. I mean, I had never lifted weights before I went to college.
Oh, really?
I was just big, 300 pounds, but I could always run.
Okay.
Even though I had never really trained or anything like that. I had played sports my entire life. I had played lacrosse, baseball, basketball.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
But then I also ate everything. So then when I went off to college, they were like, yeah, we're going to need you to lift 3 days a week. And I'm like, okay. And something be lifting that. And I'd be like, what is this move? So
that's called a bench press.
Right. And I was never the biggest, never the strongest.
Yeah.
But I had really good feet.
Yeah.
And I was just quick.
Yeah, you can
for,
move
for as big as I was always quick.
You can move good. You had good balance.
Yep.
You're a big guy, so you can throw the weight around.
Yep. And then I remember when I as a police officer, I'm a summer cop in Ocean City. This is probably like 1999 or 2000.
Yeah.
One of the full-time cops actually comes up to me after I was like in a foot pursuit.
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't know people your size could move like that.
You're like, I played college.
Right. No brag, but.
So how did your interest in law enforcement? It came while in college and going to Ocean City.
My interest in law enforcement. So I can remember as a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout, like I was in the Scouts, and I remember taking a tour of the Baltimore County Police Precinct in Woodlawn.
Yeah.
And I still remember that.
Yeah.
And like just thinking like, whoa, this is super cool. And not like, hey, I'm going to be a cop, but I think that's what kind of set it off. And then I remember seeing the movie The Fugitive in 1992.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am going to be Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah. So I was like, I think I want to be a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, I actually did so as a political science major.
Right.
And then I worked in a local municipality. I come down to Ocean City and I'm like, maybe I don't want to be in federal law enforcement. So I changed to criminal justice, and that's what I graduated with.
Oh, okay. And then when did you start doing the seasonal thing after college?
So I was still in college. My first summer as a summer cop was 1998.
Okay.
And I actually then did so I was a summer cop in 98. I was a summer cop in 99 and 2002. My college internship was actually in the summer of 99. I graduated in December of 99, and I returned for one final summer in 2000.
Oh, okay.
So I worked that was the only year that I worked my full like 5-month stint that I could. And then I went to the city of Salisbury because Ocean City was hiring like one person a year. And it was just very competitive.
It was hard to get hired back then.
Right. It really was.
Everybody wanted the job.
And now they're hiring like 10 at a clip.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So I honestly, I went somewhere that was hiring. My goal had been to go back to Ocean City at the entire time. And there was actually a bet between the detectives in Salisbury and the detectives in Ocean City for how long it would take me and another guy in the academy to leave Salisbury and go to Ocean City.
Yeah.
So we both broke our contracts under 2 years, and we both went back to Ocean City.
Oh, dang. Did you have to pay a penalty for that breaking the contract?
I was
I know in Delaware there's a penalty. You
I was willing to,
Yeah.
but they did not.
Yeah,
they did not ask for it. No,
that was nice.
Right.
Yeah, I know here I know guys that have been made to pay that.
Yeah, I mean, I get why.
Oh yeah, it's they invest a lot of money into you.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. And but you know, I was like, I mean, that was actually a question from Ocean City. Like, are you willing? Like, I know you're breaking your contract. Are you willing to pay that money off? Yeah, because I got a significant raise just from going from one to the other,
right?
And the amount of overtime I was working.
Sometimes it's worth to cut your losses.
I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't blame you. How was academy life there? It was that's a commute academy.
It was
right?
We don't stay there, so it's not the same as like the Delaware State Police Academy.
You graduated with a friend of mine.
Is that right? Who's that?
Frank.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot you guys know each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a while.
I saw him, and I had not seen him in probably 20 years. And I saw him at the First Responder Conference in Ocean City.
Oh, really?
That was maybe 23.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. Yeah. And it was great to see him.
Good,
I forgot about that.
He's still the same.
So did you know him from Dewey?
Yeah, we were seasonals together in Dewey. And then he went full time there. He went through the academy with you.
Right.
And then a year, 2 years, whenever it was, a couple years later, I went through the academy for Dewey.
Okay.
And then he moved on.
Got it.
Yeah, but that's how I know him.
How funny.
I met him probably 2000, 2001.
Yeah, what a small world.
Yeah.
So that was the spring of 2001 is when we went through the police academy, and that was 24 weeks.
Yeah, so I think that's right, because I think I started there in 2001, and he was just getting out of the academy. That's what it was. Yeah. And then he was there for a couple of years, and he rolled out.
Then he went.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yep. So go to Ocean City, start out on patrol, I assume, like everybody else.
I did.
Yeah.
So as a summer cop, I was doing nights, like 10 at night to late in the morning on the boardwalk, and I was riding a bike. And I mean, that was all I wanted to do. I was my two goals when I went to Ocean City is I wanted to be on the SWAT team.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ride a bike year round.
Yeah. Any good boardwalk stories?
I mean, I think I've investigated just about every kind of crime
Yeah.
down there, and a lot of the interesting things would happen after like 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So I always enjoyed being the one that would get called to investigate those the more serious crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I mean, like later in life, it just gets harder to work nights.
For sure.
Just I can't sleep during the day anymore.
Yeah.
But that was my preference. So I actually made a deal with my wife, like very early on in our relationship, that I could do whatever I wanted in the summertime. I could work whatever shift and just make overtime, make money. Put it away into our Christmas fund.
Yeah.
And then in the wintertime, I would work day work. Or I would ask to,
Yeah, right.
and then we could have kind of a normal life. And
they're pretty flexible with
actually,
scheduling and stuff.
Well, they ask you what you want.
Oh, okay.
And I was pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
I generally got what I asked for. Not everybody can get that. Like if everybody asks for the same thing, then there's got to be somebody that gets something that they don't want. But I was fortunate, and I got to do that.
Yeah.
So. But very early on, I was actually selected into some specialty units.
Okay.
And so my life changed, I think, in like 04, 05, when I got asked to be in the training and recruiting section by a lieutenant that I very much looked up to and respected. And he asked me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. And then literally like the next question was like, what's the job? Because I said yes, and I didn't even know what I was going to get into. Yeah. And he's like, well, I want you to be our primary recruiter. Like, you're going to go to colleges and you're going to talk about being a cop and trying to get them to come down here and be cops in Ocean City. Okay, deal. Now, what that evolved into, because they actually brought me and another guy in, another PFC in at the same time, and he was going to be the guy that ran the academy, but he didn't like office work. So that meant that I got to do both jobs. It actually, I look back on it and I'm like, well, that's great, because I got exposed to so much more, and just, you're kind of forced to learn it and then forced to get good at it. So I did recruiting, I did backgrounds, I did testing when they would come down, I did training of them, and I did that for a while, and I made quite a name for myself in that realm. Yeah. Now at the exact same time, I got asked to be on the executive board of our local fraternal order of police. Mm-hmm. And again, I said yes. Yeah. And I was like, what's the job? And I was originally the chaplain, and I did that for 2 years. And then I moved up and I became our secretary, and I did that for the next 8. So I got, again, fortunate, you kind of take the opportunities that present themselves to you. Yeah. And I got the opportunity to really learn like all about labor unions and like why it's important to have contracts, and, how to keep the police department accountable.
You guys have your own FOP lodge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ocean City has its own.
Okay. That's what I figured.
Local FOP, yeah.
That's what I thought.
There was a time that there was like a whole Worcester County FOP, but when the town of Ocean City got collective bargaining, when we're talking about our own contract and stuff like that, then you have an independent Ocean City FOP.
Nice. So did the recruiting, and then you got into polygraph, right?
I did. And so, I think that had a lot to do with me getting into polygraph, is because I had done the background thing for so long. Yeah. And we got to this point where, for those of you that are not familiar with Ocean City, we used to hire 100 seasonal cops every single summer. Yeah. And that is really hard to do. Yeah. Because you're trying to grab 21-year-old, 22-year-old college kids. Yeah. And you're trying to vet them appropriately before you put them into a 4-week training academy and then cut them loose.
Yeah, I think when I was in Dewey, I think we were hiring like 40 or 50.
Right. It's hard to do.
I think now they do like 10 or something.
So we got to a point, so that when I was doing backgrounds, we always decided, listen, if there was a point that we needed to polygraph somebody, we would send it to the Maryland State Police. Yeah. And they would do it for us for free. Right. And then they would give us the report, and we'd be good to go. But that wasn't everybody. Yeah. There got to be a time in life where the captain of our administrative division was like, we need to polygraph all of them. Because what we were seeing was, listen, we would have like 5 spots to go into the police academy, the full-time police academy. Right. And then we would look at like 15 people to fill 5 spots. Mm-hmm. And what we were finding is as soon as they'd go through the polygraph stage, immediately eliminate half of them because they just said they would just say something or they did something that they never should have even been a summer cop.
Jeez.
And it was happening a lot. And that's nothing anybody knows unless they've ever worked in that part of policing, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
When I got into policing, I was like, I want to catch bad people and I want to put handcuffs on bad people.
Yeah.
But there's like an administrative side to it that has to get done too. Yeah. And it's just a very different skill set that I was, I think that's the way my mind works in general.
Yeah.
And, I feel lucky that I was able to kind of fall into that opportunity and really excel at it. So in 2013,
so were you just doing with the polygraph? Were you just doing backgrounds? Or did you do any criminal with it too?
I did both, but I'd say 98% was police applicants.
Okay.
And that was starting in like 2013, 2014.
Were you the only polygrapher?
I was the only one for about 3 years, and then we had a second guy because it was so much on me.
Oh, just with applicants alone. Yeah.
Right. Occasionally there was a criminal test, but by and large, most of those folks, because my suggestion always to our criminal investigators was ask people if they'll take a polygraph, and then let me be set up in the next room. So literally, they say yes. Have you met my friend Vance?
Yeah,
and it's literally that fast.
I know we're going to do it now.
Don't let them walk out because they walk out. They're going to be like, I'm going to talk to my lawyer, and the lawyer's going to be like, don't you dare take that polygraph test.
Oh man. Oh, we're going to do it now. Shit, I wasn't ready.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, but just didn't always work out.
Yeah.
So, that I did a lot of tests, honestly. I did a ton, and that was over about a 7-year period. Yeah, that I did like 1,500 tests. Good. And every test is like 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours long. I've had them as long as 7.
Yeah.
It's just every test is a little different. God bless the ones that are really easy, and the kids that have never done anything and they feel really bad. They're like, I'm sorry, but I smelled pot once, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Do not care, because I've heard far worse than that.
Yeah.
And
did you do any of that kind of fucked with you? Like, what the hell if I just stumbled into?
Yeah. So the stuff that I found that really started to weigh heavy on me was when people would tell me about things that they had done to other people. And like I'd have an applicant come in and they would tell me about something that they had done to their sister or their cousin or something like that. And
kids and stuff.
Yeah. That stuff always messed with me. And we don't have kids, but that stuff, there's something
human.
about that broken trust that oh my God, that really messed with me. And then in my, and I'll give you an example. In the first 10 tests,
well, did you have anything like that? Not to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Did you have anything like that was like where you interviewed somebody and they confessed to it and it was like recent and then you had to like it warranted like reporting because it was in like X amount of years? Or
I have sent my reports to my lieutenant to send out to police departments to investigate.
It goes from there.
But right. Because I mean, some people I've had police officers come in and admit to things that were not so good. And I have to send that to my lieutenant and be like, I need you to send this to the internal affairs of that police department because they have to start an investigation.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the ugly part.
Yeah.
But, also there are people that are applying for these jobs that have no business being in these jobs. And so where I was going was there's an awful lot of people that have come into these professions as law enforcement that something happened to them at some point in their life. And in my first 10 tests, I have a young man that just obliterates the sex crime question. And when we're sitting there for the next half hour, like after the test, we're just kind of talking.
Yeah.
And I just don't get the feeling that he's some deviant or that he is some, like he has this secret life.
Right.
And I finally look at him and I said, did something happen to you? And
this is after the test.
This is after the test. And he just tears and he breaks down and he's like, listen, for like a 4-year period, my next door neighbor molested me. And I was the first person he ever told. And he had carried that around with him for something like 15 or 17 years at that point.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that really messes you up. And so it's that vicarious trauma that I'm actually taking on what has happened to another person.
Yeah.
And that just started to get really heavy on me.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have a really great outlet for me to dump that out.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know we briefly talked about it. But I'll share that.
Well, that goes like the old school thought of don't take the job home with you, right?
Mm,
You don't take that shit home with us.
I mean,
kind of bury it.
wouldn't that be great? If I love
if you could actually do that, and it worked.
Right? I mean, how many times was I told in the police academy that home life stays at home and work life stays at work? And
dude, that's what they drilled into you.
And I'm like, that's not how your brain works.
No,
like you can't physically do that.
No,
they have to intermix.
That's what they used to teach us.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
That shit.
I
bury
know,
it.
Right?
Fucking bury it.
Well, right. Yeah. Listen, just push it down and drink another sip of whiskey and
you'll be
and
good.
Everything will be fine.
Yep.
Just, take it like a man.
God.
Rub
man.
a little dirt on it. Oh my
Shit
God. All these things. And, I think it's certainly leading towards these awful decisions that some people are making because they have all this emotional pain that they don't know what to do with. And, they get to a point where they can't drink it away anymore and nobody wants to hear it. They're afraid to tell anybody about it because they don't want to lose their job.
Yep.
And that's where our suicide epidemic.
People think they're crazy.
Right.
They
and that's
where
and that's where this suicide epidemic comes from in the first responder world.
Yep.
And look, I'm the reason I talk about it now is because I bring like a level of lived experience in it that, when I would hear all these terrible things that people are doing to other people, that wasn't the only thing going on in life at the time.
Right.
I had a really poor supervisor at the time that, everybody has had a bad leader at some point in their life.
Yeah.
This guy he really made it his mission to make life hard on me. And, so couple that with working 60 hours a week for the better part of a year, and just not taking care of myself. Yeah. And the way that I would is,
and the shit you're listening to.
Right. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but my drinking amped up an awful lot, and it would get to the point of like blackouts a couple times a week. And look, it's not until like a good amount of therapy and
so you were on like day work, doing this like this schedule, right? So that night you would drink at night.
Yep.
Like weekdays too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody had any idea.
Yeah.
Nobody had it. I was very careful about not missing appointments. I was very careful about not missing assignments. You would never smell it on me, but I would go home and that would be the first thing I would do.
And did your wife drink at this time?
Sometimes.
Yeah, but not to the level.
Not like, but she wasn't drinking with me like that.
Yeah, right.
Like we would have a couple drinks out on the porch, but like I would go inside when I would go to refill our drinks, and I would probably like, I would probably down 2 beers in the time of just refilling something, and it became a huge problem. And so it's not until there's some reflection after the point where I actually get sober that I had a drinking problem probably from my 20s.
Yeah.
I just didn't have a healthy relationship with alcohol.
Yeah.
And then I carried that into the first responder world, which
makes it even
that's
worse.
Listen,
yeah.
we drink for any reason, and that can be good or bad.
Yep.
So, and I think some people just kind of grow out of that, and I don't think I did. And my switch was broken.
Yeah. Well, you got into a profession where drinking is part of the job,
right?
I mean,
literally that when something goes bad, that people are like, have a little bit of Jameson and you'll be good.
Yeah, shift parties, heading out tonight. Right. You're off on a Tuesday because you're on shift work and your other shift mates are off. You have nothing to do. We're going out.
Yeah, we're gonna go drinking.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like I said, it's either good. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad.
Yep,
we're drinking.
Yep. That's that and berry shit.
Right. And I knew. I knew that this is problematic, but I didn't do anything about it because I couldn't imagine life without booze.
Right.
I really couldn't.
Yeah.
And it's not until I actually get to a point where my wife confronts me with videos of what I look like, and she shows them to me, and she's like, "We got to talk." That was the moment where, like, the world stopped.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't ever want to have this conversation again. and I mean, so deeply shameful and embarrassing. And
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, how what was that moment like? Was that like the next morning after the videos?
Oh yeah, it was. So I had, and let me set this up a little bit different.
I'm saying, like, how did it lead up to this? Like, with her?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and I need to back up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like to say that there's two events that really changed the trajectory of my life, because, you know, I'm in this place where my mental health is spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing the polygraphs, the work life, the bad boss, and then I got hurt on the job, and that injury kind of put me out of law enforcement, but I didn't know that at the time.
Right.
It took a couple years to actually come to that decision. So at this point, you know, I'm starting to really be separated from everybody else. I'm starting to feel very lonely. I'm starting to feel very hopeless. And the idea of suicide actually became a good one. Mm-hmm. And I had a plan of what I was going to do, and I was going to use the gun that they gave me, and I was going to go in our outdoor shower, and that's how I was going to do it. And then a Salisbury City police officer killed himself in November of 2018. So the reason that becomes such an impactful event is because after I go to his funeral, after I see what it does to the community, what it does to the police department, I finally can spit those words out of my mouth that I'm thinking about killing myself to my wife. And then we start just kind of down a path of medication and therapy. But I'm still drinking, and I'm not being honest about it.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm being truthful now with my friend TJ.
Or had you backed off drinking at all? Or is it still just like,
God no.
Just adding in medication now?
Yeah. Heavy doses of all kinds of medication. And what's really funny is if you read the side of the bottle, it says do not drink alcohol with this medication. And I'm like, not me.
Yeah, right. I'm good.
Dude, I got it. I can control it.
Yeah.
So there's a year period that passes between that moment and the moment that Amy confronts me with the videos.
Okay.
And I had stopped drinking a couple times. I had stopped for
a week here or something.
Yeah, like a week or a month.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that this day that happens November 12th, 2019, I hadn't drank for 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then I drank for 2 straight days because we were with a bunch of friends, and I thought I could handle it, and
yeah,
I can't.
Your tolerance level had dropped by then. Yeah.
Well, and so she shows me the videos on the way home. We're driving, and I'm just like,
yeah.
And I didn't make a decision that day like I'm never going to drink again. My decision was I don't ever want to have this conversation again.
Right. Did you have a conversation with your friends about it at all?
No.
No.
I had two people in my 20s, not close friends even, like general acquaintances that told me I had a drinking problem, and I blew them off. And then I can tell you that Amy had said things to me over the years prior to that, hey, this is getting a little out of control, and I don't want to have to babysit you. And I was kind of like, okay. And she, like, I would wake up the next morning and she would be like, do you remember what you said last night? Or do you know what you did last night? And I'll be like, nope. and then it's a surprise to me too, because I get to be told what I did or what I said. And I say it jokingly now, but I mean, there's an incredible amount of like anxiety to wake up the next morning and literally not know how the night ended. That at some point somebody switched the light from on to off, and like my brain went to sleep, but I kept going. You know, so now I get to find out what happened in the rest of the night, and it's never good.
You're right.
It's always something terrible. So anyway, she makes this confrontation, and I just didn't want to have that conversation ever again. Mm-hmm. And I made that decision that day that I was like, I'm just not going to drink for the next 24 hours, because if I don't drink, then we don't have this talk.
Right.
And to be honest, I just kept making that decision.
Yeah.
Every day. And then I started stringing some days and some weeks together and some months together.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand now why Alcoholics Anonymous say literally one day at a time.
Yeah.
And that wasn't something that I fell into. I didn't necessarily do the AA 12-step route, but that is how I looked at it.
Yeah.
For the next 24 hours, I'm
Yeah.
not going to drink. And I want everybody to know that I did not do this on my own.
Yeah.
I leaned on some very close friends. I did my own self-reflection and research, and
How was it going forward? Like, hang out with friends? Were friends still drinking around you? And
so I like to say that I was fragile for the first 18 months.
Yeah.
And I could not go to a bar.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't watch other people drink. And if we'd go out to a restaurant or something like that, Amy would usually look at me and say, you know, are you okay if I have a glass of wine? And my answer was always yes.
Yeah.
But I actually really respected the fact that, you know, she was, and it's not that she doesn't drink. I mean, she still does.
It's probably good exposure therapy too.
And
you know
she looks at it now like she's got a lifetime designated driver. Like and I'm good. I mean, at this point, I told you that I didn't intend to stop forever.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now that almost 6 years later, I will not drink again.
Yeah.
And it's because I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle it, so I just need to not.
Do you think it was helpful, like when you went out and she's like, hey, do you mind if I have a glass of wine? You're like, yeah. And then she had one. Do you think that helped? Like, 'cause some people are good with like exposure therapy like that, so to speak, and some people aren't. Do you think it was good for you?
So that never bothered me.
Okay.
I can tell you, and what I can tell you, and this is still a trigger for me, and she knows that if we go to a bar or if we go out, and there's people drinking, if people start to get like loose and wild, like you can tell they're starting to get drunk.
Yeah.
I usually have to go.
Yeah.
Well,
I have to do that shit.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I still, you know, like years later, I still have trouble with that. But that's just me. And, you know, everybody's a little bit different. So, I feel like I have worked with an awful lot of people that probably are on that border of like, maybe I have a problem, maybe I don't.
Yeah.
And, you know, so what I've done here recently is, I've gotten into peer recovery, and I just finished the coursework, and I submitted
before you get into that.
Yeah, sure.
At what point during the stop drinking, did you get into the yoga, and how did that come about?
So the confrontation with Amy happens on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I go to a yoga studio for the first time on a Saturday.
Now, have you been wanting to do that, or just like, fuck, I need something to do?
No. I had wanted to do it, and I had been like, and I had done, so Beachbody On Demand had had some yoga workouts in there. So I had done them at home. Okay. But I was like, I can't do this in front of other people. Yeah. I can only do this in my home. Yeah. And I'm like, listen, I'm way too big. I sweat entirely too much. Yeah. I definitely don't look like.
I'm way too much man for this.
Right. And I'm like, these people are going to point and laugh at me. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, this is when I say like finger of God. Yeah. Because I just, on that Saturday, I was like, I'm just going to go. Yeah. And let's see what happens. And what I can tell you is I sweated a lot. That was true, because I went to a hot yoga studio for my first ever class.
That was a great idea.
Right. But I felt better. Yeah. I mean, not fixed, but right. Like walk out of there after 60 minutes, and you could definitely I felt like lighter. Yeah. Like I had let something go. And so I just kept going back, and it was within 30 days of going to my first ever studio class that I told my wife that I was going to teach this to people like me. Yeah. That I wanted to teach cops and firefighters and military and so she's like, cool. and she's like, okay, you do you. And I mean, she'll be the first to tell you that I don't do anything a little bit. Yeah. So as soon as I could get into a 200-hour teacher training program, I did. Yeah. And right after graduating from that, I started studio teaching. And every time somebody was like, hey, do you want to do this? Or, hey, do you want to do this 6 a.m. class that nobody else wants to teach? I'm like, yep, I'll do it all. I'll say yes. I was teaching kangaroo yoga. I mean, all the things. Yeah. So, I mean, that was now 4 years ago that I actually finished my first teacher training. And at that point, I have also gone through Warriors at Ease, Veterans Yoga Project, iRest, and then I just finished my 300-hour advanced teacher training. So technically, I can now teach other yoga teachers, which is something I'd like to do at some point.
Like
That's
advanced things. Advanced,
yeah. Well, I'd
movements?
like to be able to teach. So at some point, I would love to take like a working cop or like a working firefighter
Yeah.
and be like, this is how you teach yoga, and literally actually mentor them into it and show them how to teach so that they can teach other people.
Take
like,
it back to the agencies
correct,
and stuff. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still
You
a
could
little
do that.
bit.
You could start like your own yoga rescue.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like
Sure.
you know,
I would just have to build my own like
yeah.
curriculum, but I mean that's stuff that I've done in my career.
Right. Because not like me, like yoga would be great for me with all my fucking injuries I have.
All your bumps and bruises.
All my bumps and bruises, but I don't do it because I'm like typical like
Right.
guy like you and me again,
Because you're a guy, because you can't touch your
I'm
toes.
too much of a man.
That's what I always hear. I always hear all these people like, oh, I can't do yoga. I'm like,
Yeah.
I bet you can.
Yeah, I probably can. Right.
I mean, I just taught.
But it's like, what are like some of the benefits that people might not know? to
Okay.
yoga?
So let me give you some of the ones that probably people do know. So certainly you're going to build some strength.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get some muscle endurance. You're going to loosen up like the hips and the back and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Flexibility. But let me tell you some of the hidden stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the mental clarity piece, all these things, this life that we live in that is just anxiety driven, that like the phone keeps going off or the radio keeps crackling in your ear, or all of a sudden your supervisor's like, hey, I need to meet you in my office right now. And you're like, oh my God. It settles the mind down. So it allows the mind to start to go a little bit slower. And that all comes with breath work.
Yeah.
Now, here's the hidden other thing that nobody thinks about: sleeping.
Okay.
It helps you sleep better. And that kind of goes with the first one of slowing your mind down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of us don't sleep very well. Well, some of us don't sleep very well because of the amount of caffeine we drink to stay up all night.
Yeah.
But a lot of us have issues because we can't shut the mind off, and you constantly have those racing thoughts. So it gives you this way that you can settle everything down. And maybe that is that you just lay in bed and take 10 deep breaths, and then maybe you can finally shut your eyes and go to sleep. That's yoga. Nice. You don't have to be in a downward facing dog and like popping up to a crescent pose.
Yeah.
It's just about like introducing breath into your body and trying to get out of your head and getting back into your body. That's yoga.
Yeah. A relaxing space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I teach the way I teach. And honestly, for anybody that ever wants to come to a class with me, I promise you that it is no goofy hippy dippy.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think that when
I know they do.
I think it's like
I know what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, I try to tell people, like, listen, I play music that you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on your breath, and I'm going to make you breathe better. And then we're going to start to bring in some gentle movement. We're going to make that movement a little bit like more intense as we go.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a point that we just, we get maybe halfway through the class, and then we just kind of back off and we kind of slow it all down. So it's kind of done on like a bell curve where it starts slow, it gets a little more intense, and then it's going to end slow. And then it starts and ends in a little bit of meditation, which I don't ever use the word meditation because everybody will be like, I can't meditate. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I can't meditate and I can't do yoga. Okay. Yeah. Let me show you. I've been fortunate because I've gotten to teach over the last like month. I've gotten to teach a couple classes for O2X.
Okay.
And
what is O2X for people that don't know?
Sure. So O2X is a company that trains tactical athletes.
Okay.
And tactical athletes usually means like police, fire,
right.
Veterans, correctional officers, stuff like that. So they hired me as a yoga and iRest specialist. So I travel wherever, and then I deliver I usually introduce myself, tell them a little bit about myself, tell them how I found yoga, and I usually use the word like non-traditionally, and then the benefits that I had from it, and then I introduced them to a 45-minute movement practice where we actually like move and breathe, and then we actually settle their body down, and we do a 30-minute iRest meditation, which is a guided meditation, and they don't have to do anything but just lay there and rest and listen. And I usually have a couple of them just go out to sleep.
I was going to say,
and
do you have
I
anybody that
just hearing.
zonk out on
Yeah,
you?
I had it yesterday. I just had a couple of them snoring away.
Yeah.
They just needed rest.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they got.
I was going to say, is that like almost the point?
Yeah.
Like to relax yourself to a point where you can fall asleep?
Yeah, people are like, don't you hate it when people fall asleep? No, because that means they felt safe enough around me that they could actually shut it down and let their body sleep. That's okay.
Do you ever have to wake anybody up when you're done? Like,
I haven't.
We're done.
You mean like kick them? No,
Yeah.
not yet.
Like, get up.
Not yet.
Get
not
out of
yet.
here.
No. I think their friends usually hit them or something like that and be like, "Hey, you're making too much noise."
Yeah.
The rest of us are trying to enjoy this.
You get a lot of snores in there?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yep.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't take it as a
I
don't take it as a dig.
To relax to the point where
right.
you can do that. Your body can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's been just over the last year or so that I've been working for O2X.
Yeah.
And so I do teach regular studio classes, but then I teach for them, and then people can hire me.
O2X, you travel around for that? Yeah.
So I've been to in the last 2 months I've been to Loudoun County, Virginia, and I was in Montgomery County, Maryland yesterday.
Okay.
I don't have anything coming up, but I'm sure I will. I just don't have anything on the books just yet.
Yeah. And then what else you got going? I know you have a couple other places that you're in with mental health.
So I teach for a company called Boulder Crest Foundation, and I teach a program called Struggle Well, which is all about post-traumatic.
Is that Cambridge?
That is, so the actual company is in Bluemont, Virginia.
Okay.
But then they go to wherever. The next one I'll do will be up at Chesapeake College.
Okay.
In October 1st and 2nd. I was in Cambridge. That was in June of this past year.
Okay.
That we did a 2-day class there, and I did 2-day classes last week in Charles County and in Montgomery County. So it's kind of wherever it and the training is right. The training is completely free.
Oh, okay.
For whoever wants to come to it.
Yeah.
It's just we need a place that'll hold 25 people.
Right.
And if they pay for lunch, it's even better. But if not, then Boulder Crest will pay for it.
Oh,
but it's all about post-traumatic growth.
Okay.
And it's the other side of post-traumatic stress disorder. You know, everybody thinks that they get diagnosed with this mental illness, and they think that stops the story, and they think that this is it, and that's not true, because there's ways that we can move forward, and there's ways that we can kind of live this life of growth where the breakdown becomes the breakthrough, that you can actually come back stronger than you were. And I'll be honest, I didn't even know that this was a thing until a couple years ago. I heard the CEO of Boulder Crest talk. His name's Josh Goldberg. And I mean, he had me for an hour. I'm just like focused and I'm like, this is amazing. And I'd never heard the term, but I had kind of stumbled into it unknowingly, just in the process of like getting sober, finding yoga.
Right.
And then just kind of doing these things. I was kind of doing some of those steps. So that's why they like having people like me teach, because something has happened in my life, and I'm on the other side of it, and now I can kind of walk with others that maybe want to come to the other side of it too.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
So yeah, doing that. The most recent thing was just finished my peer recovery specialist. So I am so that is
that local? Is that
it's through the state of Maryland.
Okay.
And I completed all my coursework.
Yeah.
I've completed all my I needed to document 500 volunteer hours. I needed to document 25 supervision hours. So I just submitted that maybe 10 days ago, and I'm waiting to hear back because at some point I'm going to have to take a state test.
Okay.
And that'll probably be sometime this fall. And then with that, I can do a couple different things. You know, I can do what I'm doing now, which is literally just fielding phone calls or Facebook messages or LinkedIn messages, because people will see some of the stuff that I put up and they'll be like, can I talk to you? Or I'll get messages after I do presentations with O2X or Boulder Crest. Or, you know, some places that maybe are like first responder recovery places would want to hire somebody like me at some point down the road. I didn't necessarily do it for that purpose. I just more like I was already doing it. And as my friend Brian says, this just gives me some legitimacy. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, it's good. So retirement life is good then.
Yeah. And a friend of mine texted me this morning. She's like, You're pretty busy for a retired guy.
I get that a lot too.
Yeah, I guess I'm not ready to sit still yet. And I knew that. I knew that I was going to leave. I was going to leave my job, and I was not going to. I wasn't going to just stop.
Yeah.
I just wasn't going to go to that job anymore.
Right.
And they were going to give me a check every month to not come to work. And I was like, okay,
I can live with that. I get it because I do it.
Right.
Yeah. I do feel like I'm busier now than I was when I was working on the job.
Busier, but
in some ways.
in a different, but in a different way.
Oh,
because I have a different
way.
because I have a different mindset.
Yeah, well, plus
I am so passionate,
and we get to do what we want.
Right,
to do
I'm picking what I want to do.
Right,
and I'm passionate about it. So what's the old adage that
right.
it doesn't feel like work.
Busy.
Right.
Downtime is not good time for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Can you sit still?
I cannot sit still.
Okay, yoga would be good for you.
See, that's my thing. I'm like, yoga would probably be good for me, like physically, but I'm like, boom, 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 boom.
I'll
boom.
I'll teach you.
We'll come down.
So let's do a yoga lesson right now.
Oh, okay.
And look, if it's uncomfortable and you don't want to do it, it's probably good for you.
We're gonna come down. Me and the man are gonna come down. I'll probably bring her dad because he does yoga all the time. He'll love it. You'll love him. He's great. Okay. We'll bring him down with us and we'll get in on a class. It'll be fun.
Okay. We'll be doing like headstands in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, those two probably will.
Right. I'm just kidding.
I can do a headstand. That's like, I can do handstand push-ups and crawls. So I can do that.
I know.
But yoga, I have not done yoga. I've never been to a yoga class. I mean, there's yoga type stretches that I do, like to stretch and stuff, but I have never been to a yoga class course.
You, my friend, are my clientele.
Yeah, you're gonna pop my cherry.
I love getting, that's right. I love being, I always say like, I love being somebody's first time, but that sounds not great.
Well, I'm it. I'm your project.
I know. That's right.
Yeah. Especially now, like we're getting into the off season, so I don't have to fight all the tourists coming down.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get down there.
Although traffic was a little heavy coming up here this morning.
Was it?
Yeah, heavier than I thought.
What did it take you, like 45 minutes, hour?
Yeah, it took me close to an hour. Which I mean, I didn't think it'd be that long, but it was thick through Rehoboth.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, you came up after school went in. I mean, I don't know. People were back to work and stuff regular this week too, so I don't know.
I think everybody's at the outlets.
Could be. Could be. I try to stay off Route 1 as much as possible.
Okay.
It's a fucking train wreck out there, man. But yeah, man. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, the big one of the big things that I usually tell people is in my line of work, or in our line of work, I should say, in the law enforcement, but I think it actually goes to everybody, not just first responders, but
right.
We spend our 20s like trying to make a name for ourselves. And then into our 30s, we start getting more responsibility. We probably make a little more money. There gets to be a time when that job is going to go away. And how are we preparing ourselves for that? And the unfortunate side is the people in the first responder world, they'll usually work like something between a 20 and a 30-year career. And what we're seeing suicide numbers wise is a lot of it's happening after retirement. And it's because they're losing this thing that they attach themselves to so heavily. And then when that community goes away, they feel like they're all by themselves. They feel
lose
like
their identity.
They feel like they've been separated from the pack. And they just don't know how to handle it. So, so here's my advice to everybody. Man. It's look, find something that makes you smile and it has nothing to do with your job, and find it now before the job goes away.
Yeah, I tell people that same kind of thing all the time, man.
Yeah, it's just
because if you don't have something that you have interest in, it just makes that transition so much harder.
That's right.
And that was my problem.
Yeah.
Like the job ended and it was like, fuck. Like everyone's like, oh, well, what do you like to do? And I'm like,
I like to be the police.
Yeah,
right.
I like to be a cop, and I don't know what else I like.
And
because I've been doing it since I was 18, and then when I retired, I was 41 almost.
I can remember tearing my back up twice, and I remember after the second time, my wife and I are having the conversation, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
And because I didn't think I'd be physically able to put a duty belt back on.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to write a resume, and I'm like, what else can I do?
Yeah.
Like I'm good at this. And I'm sure some of those skills would translate, but like nothing is this exciting and
I think it's hard to like your skill sets because we all have different skill sets in law enforcement. There's so many different avenues to go down. But like, it's like me type up a resume. I'm like, well, I can hit a door, I can clear rooms, I can type an ops plan.
Right.
And it's like all these things. I'm like, how do I apply this somewhere
So
else?
that's one of the big things that I usually talk to people about, when I do presentations and we talk all about mental health.
Yep.
Listen, I know how to beat, bang, and break anything.
Right.
I promise you.
Right.
But when it comes to and we would go through in-service training, we went through a lot of academy training. This is the stuff that they're like, well, you got to be proficient at doing these kind of physical things.
Right.
But we don't ever address anything that has to do with your brain.
No.
And you have to use that every day. Like you have to think in order to do your job.
Yeah.
And if you're in this constant state of like fight or flight, or you constantly have your sympathetic nervous system activated, you're not making reasonable decisions.
Yeah.
And that's when you're going to start to chase other things. That's when you start to see like the booze, gambling, infidelity, porn.
Yeah.
Like that's when all those things start to come in because they're trying to find something else to get that hit.
Yep. To get that high off of.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's wild, man. Transition is really hard for some people, and it's hard in different ways.
It is.
Finding purpose,
right?
Finding meaning, finding interest. Like it's just.
I actually explained to somebody just last week. I said they asked me what I'm struggling with, and I'm like, everybody in this room, and at the time I was talking to a room full of lieutenants.
Yeah.
And so some of them are like 6 months from retirement, and this is we're all talking about it, and I'm like, I know what you think. I know you think that it's going to be like a postcard, and you're going to sit on the beach every single day, and you're gonna like sip on a martini or whatever, and you have no worries. Well, you know what I struggle with right now is that so much of my life was structured. When I played football, like every 15 or 20 minutes there was a horn that went off that meant we changed stations. So like you want to talk about being structured.
Yeah.
And then I go off into the police world where I get a binder on my first day of the police academy that tells me how the entirety of the next 24 weeks are going to go.
Right.
And then I have a shift schedule. I know exactly when I'm going to be there, and I probably would have to stay late for a large majority. Right. And then what happens? And then you step away from it. So this past summer, like I've, don't get me wrong. I have certainly done things that I wanted to do. I've gone to tons of yoga classes. I walk with the dogs. I go to the beach, all those things. I've gotten to teach all these different things, mental health related. And that is certainly my purpose and passion. But it's different.
Right.
Because like when I wake up, I don't have to like, hey, I have to be out the door at this time. So it means I need to get my workout in, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. It's a lot more chill.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But it took some settling in to that, to accept that, okay, well, you don't have to constantly put your foot on the accelerator, and you don't have to constantly be at a go pace.
Yeah. I went through that same kind of phase, and then about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I really just started like dialing in like a whole regiment for myself. Like I get up at this time, I eat this at this time, I work out at this time, I read at this time.
You implemented your own structure.
Yeah, I had to, because it was just like idle time is not, like I said before, it's just not good time for me.
Right.
I mean, so I have to have like a plan.
You got to know what's coming next.
I got to know what's coming next. So I'm not just sitting around like, fuck, what do I do now?
Right.
I got to have a plan. You know what I mean? Some people are like that. Some people can just like go with the flow.
What happens if the plan deviates?
Well, you adapt and overcome. You know
okay.
what I mean?
That's what but that's
Always
what I'm curious.
The unexpected.
No, but that's what I'm curious, because a lot of times I think especially in these mindsets or in these professions, like we get focused on that this is what I'm going to do and this is going to be the outcome. Yeah. And when that doesn't come, like what happens?
I'm pretty good with like adapting and overcoming, just because coming from like the tactical world, like no plan ever goes to plan. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty good with like pivoting. But I got to have like a set thing to get started,
right?
Like a roadmap to get started. You know what I mean? I can't just wake up in the morning and be like, all right, let me figure out what it is I got to do today. Let me think. It's
right.
Like,
I don't want to think about it. I just want to go.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm already fucked.
It's already worked out.
Yeah.
Right. Like literally you go to bed, you have your workout clothes laid out.
Yeah.
I didn't intend to turn the tables and like interview you, but
Yeah.
it just kind of happened.
It's all right. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's a change catalyst. That's what we're here
Right.
for.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I got to have some kind of structure. Not now, if I sat here and told you like every single day I'm boom, 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 I'd be lying to you because I have my days like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for the most part, I try to have everything as regimented as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable. And I think I can take some lessons there.
It works for me.
Yeah.
You know? And there's, like I said, there's other days where I wake up and I'm like, shit,
Not
I
happening.
should have planned this today.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just happens. It's life, right?
Okay.
But you move on with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say my hard days now are when I travel.
Yeah.
Because I don't sleep as well in hotels.
Oh God, I don't sleep at all in hotels.
But I do like that. I really pick hotels that have like decent gyms,
Yeah.
so that I can do that kind of stuff and go walk on the treadmill maybe or go swim or something physical like that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I have to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't sleep very well, and that's that's one of those self-care things.
I don't sleep well traveling. Period.
Okay.
Well, I don't sleep great at home anyway. As in general, I don't sleep great. But when I'm traveling, I don't sleep at all.
Okay.
Awful.
Yeah.
I'm just like a homebody. I like being in my bed.
You like being in your bed.
Yeah, dude. I like traveling to an extent, you know what I mean? But I do not sleep when I'm away. Doesn't matter what we're away for. It could be like some luxury fucking suite somewhere, and I'm just like not comfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's my problem.
I'm curious. I will be curious the first time that you take a yoga class as to what happens that night if we can get you to sleep better.
We'll document it.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll do a short episode to follow up
okay.
yoga.
All right. Yep. Well, that's what we'll do. I'll be here at whatever time you get up, which is probably like before the sun comes
yoga
up.
Boot camp.
Right. And I'll be like, TJ, how'd you sleep?
Yeah. Yoga boot camp. I like it. Yeah. Well, it's been good, man. I'm glad you came on.
Yeah.
We learned a little bit about yoga. So we are going to come down. I told Amanda that when you texted me the other day. I was like, we got to go down and do this. She was like, let's go. Because she does yoga all the time.
She's like, I'll go tomorrow.
Yeah. She's like, when do you want to go? I'll go. So we're going to do that. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
Cool.
Cool. You're the kind of guest I want to have on that has a life-changing event. And you had that,
Yeah, so. Definitely. Well, thank you, TJ. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.